Hello there, welcome to Twice. In this video, I'd like to speak about Venus from the point of view of esoteric astrology, and the information that I am presenting in this video is basically coming from different sources. It's not just one source. I kind of put them together, so to speak, and there are elements, of course, from traditional astrology, and there are elements that are specific to esoteric astrology, which is also called the new astrology or soul-based astrology, on the principle or the idea that we are constantly evolving as a human race and also as conscious being, and we become more authentic, more the way our soul is. And let's see, Venus in esoteric astrology stands for the urge to merge. It is a magnetic force that can attract love, of course, and material possessions. But this force also works within us. And whenever there is inner chaos, it is Venus that brings inner harmony, inner peace, inner balance. She is beauty, she is art, she is grace, she is desire. And once we fulfill the desire, there is, of course, satisfaction. She is elegance, she is eloquence, but she is also the norm. And the reason is that she is the ruler of Libra, and in Libra, Saturn is exalted. And therefore, her role in Libra is also to maintain proper social codes for behavior in all human interactions. And of course, Libra is about the law. So she wants to create a society that is sophisticated and where the law of right human relationships prevail in all human interactions. And of course, in an ideal world where all equal before law, there is fairness and kindness, and there is an aim towards a general sense of equality. Venus is, of course, also the ruling planet of Taurus, ruling desire. And here we have material goods, property, land, and the satisfaction we experience when we manifest or when we acquire the things we want. They also say that Taurus is possessive, including in love, and this is my own observation. I also saw a chart interpretation where the second house and Taurus also is considered a house of love. So this is maybe a good idea to begin to check Taurus and the second house, and how your relationship to love is there. And an unevolved Venus wants everything, of course, but an evolved Venus knows how to discriminate in the sense that it knows what's worth having. Taurus is, of course, also the sign of the Buddha, since Buddha was born in Taurus and he had many planets in Taurus, and he was enlightened or illuminated in the sign of Taurus. In its advanced state, Venus is therefore the illuminated mind, the enlightened mind, and it represents freedom from illusion regarding our desire nature, because Buddha said that all suffering comes from desire, and who can know it better, than Taurus. And desire is also attachment, also living a detached life is also something that a Buddhist is aiming for, never getting too attached to anything. In esoteric astrology, Venus rules just as it does in traditional astrology, Taurus and Libra, but it rules these two signs at the personality level. And it also rules, interestingly enough, Gemini at the soul level. So you have there the mind component to Venus. and the consciousness component also to Venus. And Venus in its more advanced stages, it can help us turn knowledge into wisdom. And this cannot happen without love, without moral considerations and ethical considerations. Venus in Gemini helps us find a harmonious link between the lower and the higher mental faculties. Through Gemini, we also become aware of our split and dual nature. We are good and evil, we are beautiful and ugly, we are masculine and feminine, we are intelligent and naive. Venus help us blend these qualities, since we are both. Maybe mostly we are good, but we can also be mean sometimes, and we're also very masculine, sometimes very active. We get things done, and then sometimes we are passive and quite feminine. And we might have our ugly sides and our beautiful sides, and we know about certain things, certain subjects, but we are quite naive and unaware of other subjects, other things. And when we reach certain stage of development, we become aware of that we are both, and that's quite important, because there is no inner struggle. We don't have to be one or the other. We can be both. We are usually both, and we are perfect, and still we have so many flaws, and it's okay. So when we also reach that high level of understanding, we are also inclined to do the right thing, and what is best for everybody. And again, here we go, we draw upon the laws, the justice of Libra. Even though Jupiter is also about wisdom, Jupiter is also about distributing the fairness in the world as well. But there is an element to Venus as well. And Venus and Jupiter are both the benefics, of course, of in astrology. And in a more advanced state, therefore, Venus creates more detached and impersonal way of being in the world, and we are relating to each other in we don't feel like we own other people, like we control them. We don't need to do that, and we don't take things personally, and therefore we can become impartial and just. We don't get attached to certain ideas. I like this person, but not this person. This person deserves more because of higher social status. This person deserves less because and so on. And in our but this doesn't mean at all that Venus stops being the planet of love, or that Venus stops functioning as the planet of the sophisticated, cultured, magnetic, attractive lady. She is the lady. Or that she will stop bringing in our lives great friends and a special somebody. Venus can also improve our Mars in our charts, and if you have Venus trine or sextile Mars, then you will have an aversion to conflicts. And so Venus, in a sense, also shows us what we have an adversity towards, depending on the house placement. I have talked about my Venus in Virgo, how it manifests. I have an aversion towards anything that I would consider dirty. If you have Venus in another sign, maybe in Gemini, you might have an aversion towards people that don't talk too much, that don't think too much, and that don't know how to use their words correctly, or spelling even, who knows, or that don't know anything about technology and computers. and so on. So it shows what you are adverse towards, or maybe you know better depending on your own Venus placement. If you can think about it a little bit more, maybe if you have Venus in Taurus, maybe you have an adversity towards people that are poor, that don't want much in life, and so on. And in conclusion, Venus does rule earthly love and relationships, as well as our desire to attract, to have, to own, to enjoy, to experience pleasures coming from all kinds of sources, like romantic love, and also food, and, having expensive things and comfort in our lives. Venus is thought also to be the revealer of the divine love or intelligent love, since it helps us turn knowledge and facts into wisdom. You don't do much with knowledge. You can have lots of knowledge, but if you cannot turn it into wisdom, you don't know how to use it properly. You need love. You need something coming from love, and it is supposed that love is whenever you rise in understanding, um, whenever Venus is in this way very much connected to the development of the mind, and it is thought that Venus can access these higher planes of consciousness like Buddha did, and we come there in contact with omnipresent love, like we are one, we are love, and so on. And this has always been there, and that state of Venus is more or less inaccessible to those people that exclusively get to know Venus through carnal love and desire, basically people that don't think. And most people will think, at least with time, but there are people that will not. Developing one's mind is therefore very important, developing intelligence and even philosophical abilities, and also maybe through meditation. You can also uh, increase your coherence in the brain and all that. So the real power of Venus comes through well-developed mind and thought process, and so on. And Venus is the representation, as I said, of the lady, of culture and sophistication, and she sets certain standards. In most cultures, actually, it's women that teach culture. They are our mothers, our educators. It's not the men that teach culture, and they will perfect it over time and then transmit it to the next generation. It's women that raise men as well. In our culture and in other cultures, they are the primarily educators, so to speak. Therefore, it's up to women also to teach their children more about equality in general, including between the sexes. And even in sociology, there is at least one, Jewel Davis, I believe her name is, and she wrote an essay about women being those that will teach and transmit culture to the next generation. And like older women being in control of younger women and their behavior, and teaching both women and men about gender relationships, basically. And Venus is also what we consider beautiful, what we are attracted to, and what kind of people we want to be in relationship with. But it is also the aspect of mind that appreciates, that evaluates. So through the mind, we evaluate, we discriminate also. Is this worth having? Is this beautiful? And so on and so forth. And I have also seen an author that actually wrote that this geniuses, the special children like Leonardo da Vinci, is also Venus, or they are Venus ruled, because they are the true innovators. So now I'm just going to go a little bit briefly um, through each house. And so let's begin. If you have Venus in the first house, then probably, because this is appearance, you look better than usual, you look great, since Venus is the planet of beauty, and you feel more creative, but there is also less inner conflict because Venus harmonizes, and self-acceptance is easier, and you are cooler, you are more detached, more inclined towards being calm and content with yourself and with the world and everything in it, and with what is, so to speak. And you can communicate your ideas with others, you can inspire them in some sense, or maybe you let them inspire you, and you could even try something new, because Aries is the initiator. And during one of my Venus transits, I believe that I tried something that was a drink, and I noticed that when there are Venus aspects, sometimes they are about sweets and foods and all these kinds of things. But definitely, I do like Venus in my first house. Um, because I am so relaxed usually. I feel so carefree. Venus in the second house, you can attract, of course, material possessions and money more easily than usual. And but this is also a very creative placement or even transit, because Taurus rules the painters. There are people that are very creative, that are born in the sign of Taurus. They do like singing and painting and design and all that. You can also spend more money during this transit, because you are really attracted to beautiful things, to luxury products, and to comforts, more comforts in your life. You want the best that your money can buy, and usually this is a transit where you feel richer, maybe because there is more money to be spent, or just because you are not worried, you are not so worried, you know that you are going to spend everything and you won't have any money later on, and so on. And you could actually be more generous towards yourself and also even towards others. So in this, in esoteric astrology, Taurus is also the sign of detachment from personal desires and attachment, but this is at the soul level, of course, and it is also a sign of illumination and enlightenment and growth through change. And this is the sign of the Buddha, and Venus can make this process smoother when you are going through this. When it's in this sign, you become more aware of your attachments, of your desires, and it may be easier to let go. And you can ask yourself, do I really want this? Do I really need this? Would anyone see that I wear Armani and not another brand? Would anyone care, or would it create more problems? Is it worth it, and so on? And but we can also create value, you know, and but quality is much more important with Venus in Taurus. And Venus in the third house, here we have the energy of the sign of Gemini. So with Venus in the third house, it's easier for us to relate to others, and we achieve inner harmony, because there is this inner duality with Gemini, and we feel more okay with whom we are and different parts of ourselves, and we attract easily people that are very nice to us, that support us, that tell us nice things. Even comments on social media are nicer. You are more inclined to say nice things to others. Venus in the third is also intelligent love. It's easier to find connection to your higher mind, and therefore it's easier to grow as a human being. You can express yourself verbally or in writing, and you do it very, very well. You really shine, and you have all these wise, nice things to tell others. And of course, relationships with neighbors, with siblings improve as well. When it comes to Venus in the fourth house, you have the sign of Cancer here. And in esoteric astrology, Cancer at the soul level is ruled by Neptune. And it turns the fourth house a little bit into forgiveness and unconditional love. And you are building now your spiritual home. You heal your past wounds, and you are very devoted to those that you love. And at the personality level, you can also heal the past and forgive family members and loved ones. You can also draw upon lessons from the past, and you become wiser. Through the power of love, you can continue to be there for important people in your life. Family relationships can improve, and you care, of course, more about interior design in general. And when it comes to sensitivities, you are more okay with them and others and other people's sensitivities maybe, and you understand, that this is how things are, and there are no hard feelings there. Venus in the fifth house here is the energy of the now. So Venus in the fifth house meets the sun, and therefore everything is about here and now. What's happening now? My love now, my life now, my beauty now, my desire now. But you do enjoy yourself a little bit more. You can stay focused on today. You can go out, have fun, meet people, look attractive, and check out who's out there, and who admires you, and whom you can admire. And you are also open hearted and warm and funny and creative and loving. You are charming, in a good mood, and you can express yourself through your talents, through your creative talents of all kinds, whatever talent you have. Children, of course, bring you many pleasant moments, and you are more inclined to become aware of your beautiful, harmonious, warm, loving side. Venus in the sixth house, you have here the energy of Virgo. You feel more relaxed at work and otherwise during this transit. Your health improves and healing happens without you even knowing it. You also receive the right type of care if necessary. At work, quality is more important than quantity. When it comes to beauty in all you do, you also care about detail, of course, perfectionism, and but you stress less. So maybe perfectionist comes, beauty can doesn't need to be perfect either. And you are more inclined to do things that you love and to love the things that you do, including your duties, taking care of others, and being of service, sharing your gift, doing what you are meant to do. And it's easier for you to access the higher planes of mind, and also find out what you love to do, your vocations, and get that feel, like, that this is something that I really enjoy doing. Venus in the seventh house, of course, It's about harmony, imbalance, and equality in relationships. And you feel more balanced. It's easier for you to properly relate to others, to follow social codes. Other people are nicer, seem nicer, you are nicer, there are better friendships, nice conversations, you are more sophisticated and more cultured. You enjoy talking about culture, about whatever you know, and whatever inspires you, of course. And there's diplomacy, of course, also. And you take the middle path, you compromise if necessary, and you are even a little bit more intuitive when it comes to what other people desire and want, so you can please other people, in the sense that you want to create a better atmosphere, and that's mutual in most cases, and you also enjoy better communication with others. You are on the same wavelength. Venus in the eighth house, displacement can make someone very manipulative, through charm, appearance, or even sex appeal, actually. But it depends, of course. That's not a rule. It can happen maybe sometimes. There is actually a battle going on in Scorpio, uh, between the lower desire nature and the higher mind, and this loving nature of Venus can affect people in other ways. It's your choice, if you want to manipulate others or to affect others in a positive, ethical way. And deeper relationships with other can emerge. And in love, physical attractiveness can matter more than other things, like how compatible you are with each other. So there is always this struggle. I really think that this person is hot, but maybe this person is annoying. We don't have anything in common, and so on. So there is too much emphasis on desire and sexual life in love life. The evolved person will look beyond these things for something deeper, something greater. If the eighth house is Aquarius, you might actually feel a little bit more liberated sexually, if that's normally a problem for you. If the eighth house is Virgo, there could be pressure for chastity, or there could be too much self criticism, and so on. So it depends. The eighth house is also always about a little bit of struggle. The fifth house, which is Leo, can also be a house of struggle, because it's a struggle between who I am and what is expected of me, and so on. The process of individualization, it's the I, the conscious I, Leo, or the fifth house as well, that wants to express itself here and now. And the ninth house, Venus in the ninth house, your thoughts are positive, and you can inspire and uplift other people. You have the energy of Jupiter that helps out actually to distribute all this love and wisdom to people. There is true expression of love and wisdom, and intelligent love, more inclusive. You feel more democratic when it comes to other people. You can find love, of course, in distant places, maybe online or in school. You communicate easily the messages of unity, of love between people. There is this lively, lovely intelligence, and it's easy for you to apply any kind of abstract idea of technical, metaphysical information, whatever seems out of reach for most people. It's just so easy for you, because you just enjoy that higher octave of Venus. in the ninth house, where there is a lot of abstract thinking. And Venus in the 10th house, you have the Capricorn energy there, and Saturn. And but of course, this is time when you can go gain most ground and achieve most success with a good word coming from others, especially from women, of course, that can recommend you. And also through being nice and balanced, and even knowing what you want, like this, you might even feel more attracted to people with power, people that have more influence in society, because you hope that this will be of benefit for you, for your social status, for your career, and so on. And you are trying hard to make a good impression. You want people to think highly of you, and your social image is boosted. If you buy something, you want it to show who you are, your social prestige in some sense. But of course, new opportunities can also appear. But if you have Saturn in Capricorn as well, Saturn kind of slows down some of this process, but at the same time, it really gives you space and time to think things through, because this is also what Saturn is about: space and time. And also conservatism can also be a problem, but it depends on so much and so many factors. Venus in the 11th house, um, you have the social support coming from other people here, and there is an increase in harmony in interactions with others, and all kinds of friendships. There is brotherhood of some sort, and it doesn't matter what background, what belief system somebody has. There is this inclusiveness, and there is always something that can unite everybody in any circumstance. When you have Mars in Aquarius, there's about choosing sides, but when you have Venus in Aquarius or in the 11th house, people are just so supportive, no matter what. And you can find new friends, especially if Venus is creating harmonious aspects with other planets in air signs, or in the 5th, and in your own sign in the 1st house. So there could be also a need to please others, and you just want to sustain that idea that you need to earn other people's love and appreciation, because everyone is so nice. So you want to be nice back, and you are thinking, oh, I have to be nice, because the nicer I am, the more people appreciate me. But in the process, there is a risk sometimes that you are just pleasing others, and you end up very drained. But still, Venus in the 11th house is great influence for friendship, for social support. If you are on social media, you have all these nice comments, and everyone is praising you, and everyone is so nice and friendly towards you. So you have this, Venus attracts good things and pleasure. There's a pleasure, in hearing this good things and compliments and all that. But Venus in the 12th house, it's all about loving oneself. Basically, it's about renovating yourself and realizing that pleasing others will not necessarily bring you more love, but it can actually drain you. And sometimes when Venus enters the 12th house after a rough Venus in the 11th house, sometimes you just feel like, oh, I forgot to love myself lately. Yeah, I gave so much to other people. So when you have Venus in the 11th house, it's better also to allow other people to be nice, and be nice also to other people when you mean it, because when Venus will reach your 12th house, you will feel just exhausted and depleted of energy, from trying to please others, um, because just for existing, you are entitled to love, even if nobody tells you, I love you or I appreciate you. You still know that you are entitled to love and appreciation and so on. So you don't have to do anything to please anyone to be worthy of love. So this is the only wisdom that you need when you have Venus in your 12th house. The impressive thing about Pisces is sometimes also that they are able to stand up and love the weak, people, those people that nobody would think about loving, and they can be quite heroic in this sense, because everyone would avoid these people, and they can go and talk to them and give them things and so on. And therefore Venus is also about those things, about um, actually bringing love in difficult places. Everyone else, than those that everyone wants to avoid, always have mostly what they need, so it is also time to think of those people that are the underprivileged, the people that are sick, the people that are in difficult life situations. And there is where you need to send your love and to use your loving intelligence to benefit them, to create social change and so on. And this is all for Venus according to esoteric astrology. I hope you found this video, this information interesting. Thank you for watching.